Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin. Welcome to your latest Chelsea transfer news. Lots popping off over the past 24 hours. In fact, before our match against Napoli, there was a lot of activities that was happening to Kendry Paez. As you can see, he's on the picture, and Raheem Sterling as well. Apparently, contract has been terminated. Kendry Paez as well looks like he's going to River Plate, and yeah, man, I find it a strange one, but at the same time, we'll try and make some sense of all of this as to why it's all happening. There's a whole heap of information about other players as well. Look, the bottom line is overall, I feel like we haven't done anything at all in this transfer window, and definitely not done enough to bolster the squad and help us win the Premier League next season. But nonetheless, it is what it is. Let's go through all the news. We're not going to start things off from Kendry Paez. We're going to start things off from Raheem Sterling. This is the latest over the last 24 hours. Breaking: Raheem Sterling leaves Chelsea with immediate effect on mutual terms. He's available now as free agent, as revealed yesterday. Do you know what? I think this is the best for all parties. Raheem Sterling, with the wages that he was on, he was never going to get an opportunity to go out on, a normal circumstance to another club, because they just won't be able to match the wages he's on right now. At Chelsea, it's in excess of 300k, and for Chelsea, it was becoming a burden. We're not going to utilize this player. I don't understand why we didn't opt to at least utilize him a little bit. It all started from last season under Enzo Maresca. Enzo Maresca categorically said he doesn't want Raheem Sterling. I think we were trying to push him out of the club. We were trying to get him to find another club. But as I said, with the wages that he was on, it was never going to happen, man. Someone to pay those type of wages, pay a transfer fee, and take Raheem Sterling off our books, it was never going to happen. Look, overall, I'm a little bit sad for him. I'm one of those very few that like Raheem Sterling a lot. I think he's a top-notch player. Obviously, he's not the player that we once knew about. He's a shadow of that player. But when he first signed for Chelsea Football Club, I was quite ecstatic. I was very, very happy, thinking, do you know what? This is a quality player. At one stage, he was world class at Manchester City. At one stage, 100% he was world class. But circumstances were very, very wrong at Chelsea Football Club when he joined. We just changed ownership. Thomas Tuchel got sacked. Thomas Tuchel was the one who brought him in. And initially, he looked really good under Thomas Tuchel. And then obviously, Tuchel got sacked. Graham Potter came in, started utilizing him as a wing back, sometimes as a winger. Overall, it didn't work out. And then Graham Potter was sacked as well. Pochettino came in, utilized him for a little bit. Ultimately, Pochettino was sacked, and then Enzo Maresca came in and said, "Nah, enough's enough. We're not going to go through this." Me personally, I would have liked him to have some sort of, impact in the team. I get it. He was on the outer, but when you're on that much wages and you're unable to get him off the books, you might as well utilize him. He's not that bad. But nonetheless, it is what it is. We were adamant that we wanted to get rid of him, and now finally we've come to a mutual agreement that let's break the contract. I'm pretty sure Chelsea would have compensated him. I don't know whether Chelsea compensated exactly the entire amount. I think there's some talks. I don't know exactly where I saw it. It's not really been aggregated by any of the news aggregators out there, but I did see that Chelsea didn't have to pay all of the compensation, so they came to a middle ground with Raheem Sterling. So look, hopefully Raheem Sterling can find himself a club out there. I wish him all the best. Obviously, the loan to Arsenal didn't work out last season either. So maybe there's something to do with the player. Maybe the player is, just not good enough anymore. So let's see where he ends up going. He does want to stay in London. So watch out. It could be Fulham. It could be, I don't know whether he'd fancy Brentford, Crystal Palace maybe. Do you know what? Crystal Palace might be a good destination for him. It really will be. Under Oliver Glasner, rekindle your career. He's like, how old is Raheem Sterling? Surely he's less than 30. I'm just going to have a quick look at his age, because he's very, very deceptive with his age, isn't he? Raheem Sterling age, he's 31. Why do I keep thinking he's 28? He is 31, so he's on the older side, but maybe he's got a last hurrah left. So let's see if Crystal Palace, Fulham, or anyone down the track pick him up. It'll be interesting to see where Raheem Sterling ends up going, but I think bottom line, it was the right thing to do from both parties with Chelsea and Raheem Sterling. Now, talking about Kendry Paez, this is the latest exclusive. River Plate agreed deal to sign Kendry Paez on loan from Chelsea. Here we go. This happened just before kickoff against Napoli. So, none of us could really report on it because the match was going on. CFC recall Kendry from Strasbourg loan with new talents coming. Paez travels to Buenos Aires for medical tests as ideal solution for his development. Season-long loan agreed. Well, season-long loan, season's only got 6 more months left, but it's apparently an 18 months loan. That's the news out there, that he's going to be in River Plate for 18 months. So not just the entirety of this season, but the next season as well. Now, how do I feel about this? First of all, River Plate, fantastic football club, one of the giants in South America. But how often do you see a player that has done time in South America before for Independiente in his home country in Ecuador, then comes to Chelsea Football Club? Don't forget, let's recap a little bit earlier than that. When he was first linked with Chelsea, there was a lot of hype. The kid was doing some phenomenal stuff. Even myself, I got into that hype, right? But over the past probably 12 to 18 months, his performances at Independiente has lacked. He wasn't that prominent for the national team anymore. He was actually a starter for the national team for a little while, and then he was dropped from that. Then he joins Chelsea. Chelsea sends him to Strasbourg, and he flops at Strasbourg as well. Now, Chelsea calls him back and sends him back to South America. River Plate, top club. But how often do you see this situation where a player that left South America doesn't work out and then goes back to South America to redevelop? It just doesn't happen that often enough. The only time it happens is when the player is just not equipped to play in the European football. This is why I keep saying, not every superstar young kid is going to make it at Chelsea Football Club. Esteval Willian is a one in many. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's a one-off. It don't happen consistently. Kendry Páez, look, all I'm going to say, he's a young player. So I hope the next 18 months, especially the next 6 months till the end of the season, he gets enough opportunities at River Plate, does well, absolutely needs to smoke it. If he flops for River Plate over the next 6 months, 18 months, I'm telling you, he will never even dream about being a Chelsea player anymore. Right now, his Chelsea career is in the balance. He's got to smoke it at River Plate. He's got to become one of the best over there. What are some of the reasons that it hasn't worked out at Strasbourg? I don't know. Maybe he just hasn't adapted to the European stage. Maybe he hasn't adapted to the country, weather, whatever the case is, or the pace of the game in Europe. Because at Strasbourg, let's be honest, Ligue 1, that's, it's not the most top-notch leagues out there. So if you're not able to adapt there, yeah, you're definitely going to struggle in the Premier League. I thought when Chelsea was going to recall him back that he's potentially going to go to one of the championship team, maybe get some experience in the championship, learn to understand the physicality of, football in the UK. But the fact that we've sent him back to River Plate just shows that he's just not at this level. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts. Me personally, look, I'll have one eye on River Plate to see how he progresses, but he needs to absolutely smoke it. He needs to smoke it. River Plate coach Marcelo Gallardo, Kendry Páez will be arriving in the country tomorrow morning. He will be joining us for 18 months. He is a talented young player. We have been watching him. So look, Gallardo is a very, very good coach. River Plate, sensational team. So he's got the opportunity to, rekindle that initial vibe, the initial hype that he once upon a time had. And what better place to do it in front of a unbelievable crowd in a stadium like River Plate. So hopefully Kendry Páez can rekindle his young career. Further goes on to say he quickly moved to Chelsea, but he wasn't getting much playing time. So he never even featured for Chelsea. I don't know whether he came on in the Club World Cup, might have come on in the Club World Cup, but he wasn't getting much playing time. He never featured. Like, he wasn't a Chelsea player. It was at Strasbourg. So made an attempt in June. Chelsea thought of us. Made an attempt in June as in last June. Okay, fair enough. Chelsea thought of us, which is why they are loaning us a player free of charge. I spoke with him and he's happy and excited to come. Look, ultimately, I think Kendry Páez could become one of those, profit-making players. I don't exactly recall how much we bought him for, but I don't think we bought him for an extensive amount of money. I know his wages are probably low, so if he has a stellar season with River Plate, you just know his price tag will skyrocket. And this is what Chelsea Football Club's banking on. But this project that we have, it is a mad gamble. Not every single player is going to make it. And this is the risk that Chelsea's taking. They're going out there and buying every youngster out there. And even if one clicks, they'll either play for Chelsea Football Club and keep rising their value. And if they don't, they'll still end up making some level of profit. And, this player trading, stock market business will forever continue. But hopefully Kendry Paez, look, as I said, large parts of the fan base were very excited by Kendry Paez, and it simply hasn't worked out. And now, all of a sudden, no one really talks about Kendry Paez. And in fact, a lot of people were saying that, maybe he's not good enough. River Plate captain Juan Fernando Quintero on the arrival of Kendry Paez. This is the best place for him. Let him come. It's a very big team and will embrace everyone who joins. So let's see. We shall see how Kendry Paez does. I hope it works out, man. I really does hope it works out. Now, next up, ladies and gentlemen, Liam Rosenior and João Pedro. I had a very, very good conversation with him already, probably 4 in my office. I think he's sick of my office where I've said to him, if you play with intensity, with your quality, the quality comes out. Look, the one thing I'll say, and I don't want to make sweeping judgment calls on Liam Rosenior because we need to see the entirety of this season and the whole of next season as well, because things can change like this at Chelsea Football Club. The vibe, the mood can change like that on a manager. All I will say is that he is investing a lot of time on being very close to the players. I won't go as far as by saying, friendly or anything like that, but he's trying to understand them. He's trying to, support them. And you can clearly see there's a clip, and I'm going to share that clip with you guys. The clip goes something like this. This was post this clip. João Pedro was giving an interview, and Liam Rosenior cheekily stands there admiring him, and João Pedro obviously notices him. They hug. So there is camaraderie. There is camaraderie. There is, some sort of, closeness. And this is something that Liam Rosenior invests on, looks like. It's not just with João Pedro. I've seen him do that with Enzo Fernandez. I've seen him do that with Caicedo and Reece James and so on and so forth. So he's trying to create a brotherhood type of a feeling, or, a family type of a feeling, that we are all fighting for each other. We're all looking out for each other. I appreciate that. I really do, because these players, and Liam Rosenior said that in the post-match conference, that these players are hurt. They were close to a manager. The manager's left. Liam Rosenior said, I don't know why he has left. I don't know the backstory, the front story, or any of this story. All I know that I'm here, and I know that these players were hurt, that this manager has left. I'm just coming here to, give them support. So kudos to Liam Rosenior for doing that. Big matches coming up, man, and João Pedro's form has been very, very good. Since Liam Rosenior has come through, João Pedro has been clicking, and João Pedro, to be honest, was clicking for the past, 3-4 weeks anyway. So, but obviously under Liam Rosenior, it's starting to really, really click into gears. And João Pedro himself said that under Liam Rosenior, it's a little bit more electric. It's a lot more intense. It's a lot more pressing. It's a lot more working off the ball. And then when you do get the ball, it's a lot more direct. Whereas with Maresca, he said, look, he still loves Maresca, but it was more about being calculative and being more in control. So let's see how it all works out. I don't want to over talk or anything like that. All I'm saying is, for the time being, it's working fine. We've got West Ham coming up. We need to win. And then the big one against Arsenal at the Emirates in the Carabao Cup semi-final, second leg. All to play for. And if Rosenior somehow manages to get through, I think that's a huge tick mark for him. Now, next up, Liam Rosenior. There's been a lot of talk about Cole Palmer lately. I can guarantee he was very, very happy, man, in the changing room at full time. So good to see Liam Rosenior regularly coming out and saying all this. But at the same time, I feel like when you have to regularly explain yourself, as I keep saying, where there is a little bit of smoke, there's a little bit of fire. I don't want Cole Palmer to go nowhere. I want him to stay at Chelsea Football Club. Looks like he wants to. And this window, he ain't going nowhere. But I hope in the summer as well, all of these players, we need them to stay. Cole Palmer, Enzo Fernandez, Reece James, Cucurella, Moses Caicedo, all of these players must stay in the summer. However, the ownership needs to show ambition in the summer as well. We can't be bringing in more, unproven potential development players, because these guys will not appreciate one more season next season where in the December period and January period, everything goes south. And then the manager gets sacked. And then that same conveyor belt, that cycle continues. Biggest task will be to keep all of these players for one more season at least, bring in some top-notch experienced players at the highest level, go for the Premier League, go for the Champions League next season. Not saying throw all of that away this season either. Go for the Champions League this season as well. Premier League, I think, is gone. Go for the FA Cup. Go for the Carabao Cup. But these players, they will not stick around if the club's being foolish on a regular basis. That's the bottom line. So hopefully, Cole Palmer is happy. Cole Palmer and his camp have sent zero messages to Chelsea in regard to being unhappy at the club. Chelsea believe he has to be a key part of their project. It's a must. If one day he left Chelsea, would be for absolutely crazy money, Fabrizio Romano. So, look, all I'll say is that Cole Palmer, the injury has affected him big time. And you could see, even when he came on against Napoli, it looked like he looks like a person who's sick, is ill at the moment. Like, he doesn't look that glow. Like, he just looks glum. And I'm sure he's been unhappy recently. So hopefully he finds some love back. Hopefully he gets some consistency. The injury is behind him. He did get both the assists, by the way. Second one is one that I rate a lot more. That lovely through ball to João Pedro. The first one, João Pedro did everything. But hopefully, surely, slowly but surely, Cole Palmer is going to come into the frame very, very soon. And we need him. For the remainder part of this season, we need Cole Palmer to click into gears. If this player clicks into gear for us for the remainder of the season, I'm telling you, we're destined to do something very, very good, especially in the Champions League. So let's see what happens. Meeting on Friday to decide whether Anselmino stays with the first team or finds a different solution. It will be a busy last few days for Chelsea. So look, once again, I don't completely understand what in the blue hell is going on with Anselmino. I can't accept that we still don't know what to do with Anselmino. Surely we do. I mean, as much as Chelsea Football Club under this new ownership, I can't even say new ownership anymore, under this ownership has been a bit of a foolery. You can't be this foolish to call a player and then still not know what you want to do with him. Why'd you call him back then? Surely you would have laid out the plan as to exactly what we're doing with Anselmino. You call him back and his future is still up in limbo. Whether he stays at Chelsea, whether he goes somewhere else. Why'd you call him back from Dortmund? He was doing well. He was loving life. They liked him as well. He was an important player for them. He started to build an attachment. I'm only thinking there has to be a big plan around Anselmino. Either we call back Mamadou Sarr from Strasbourg and Anselmino goes to Strasbourg and fills in there, or I don't know what's going on with Jeremy Jacquet. We're going to look into that. Is he part of that discussion? Does he go to Rennes? Look, I don't know. But whatever the case is, this not knowing what to do with Anselmino, that's pretty foolish to me. Recalling back a player that was doing well on loan, that was developing, and now you're in a situation where you don't know what to do with him. It don't make sense to me. So hopefully Chelsea Football Club knows exactly what they want to do with Anselmino. Chelsea will hold more talks this weekend in the hope of convincing Rennes to sell Jacquet this window. Chelsea haven't given up on trying to add him to the squad for this season. It's understood Jacquet has expressed a preference to move to Chelsea this window. So it looks like Jeremy Jacquet, he prefers Chelsea. Me personally, as I said, I want an experience level centre-back. I don't need any more potentials, developments, but Chelsea are adamant. I just hope that this player can help us win the Premier League next season. That's all I'm hoping. People are saying this is the Estevao Willian of defense, in defense, defenders. Estevao defenders. All right, well, let's see it. He wants to join Chelsea Football Club. Whether we can strike a deal, we've only got a couple of more days left. So time's running out. There are other clubs that are interested in Jeremy Jacquet. Let's see what happens. Me personally, I'm not excited about any of this stuff, to be honest. Kendry Páez going back to, River Plate, Raheem Sterling contract, terminated, Jeremy Jacquet. Like all of this stuff, is it making us get closer to winning the Premier League or Champions League? I don't know. I don't think so. So all of this stuff is utter nonsense for me. Anyway, it does need to happen. We do need to, clear out our squad. Desasi is another one that needs to go. But let's see what happens for the remainder parts of the the window that is still open right now. Smash up the like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, like always, about all the topics we talked about. Hype the video, really helps with the growth of the channel. Thank you so much for 48,000 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen, and hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, take care. See ya.